Yeah, it goes everybody, because today we'll continue on our game called Katawa Shoujo. Where were we? Let's see. Uh, 11, 40, 17. Carnival? Or is it number? No. It's May. Okay. Push along the thousand sides, concentrating on the pangs of hunger that burns my guts like a wildfire. The scent of something fried leads me to the promised land where I can get some lunch. I'm just getting my order when a loud voice interrupts me. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Having a break or lunch? Breakfast? You mean you just got up? Suddenly sleeping all morning feels like a crime. No, I meant lunch, honest. She's not buying it. Brunch? That's not a healthy breakfast at all. She snatches my food out of my hand and glares at me. What the hell is this girl doing? Hey, that's my breakfast. What happened to it being your lunch? That's my... whatever, it's my food. Amy places her hands on her hips and begins lecturing me. Did you really forget your dietary plan already? You need to be more conscious of your health, Hisao. What about your heart? My heart's fine the way it is, mostly. All I get in response is a roll of the eyes. I doubt that. You wouldn't be here if that was the case, would you? The girl's got a point, of course. But I'm not about to concede it. It's not that bad of a heart. Certainly can handle a little grease now and again. Yeah, sure, and it handled a little running just fine too. Amy seems unconvinced. Not surprising, as I haven't even managed to convince myself. Maybe, but not if you're sleeping the day away all the time. A devious look suddenly crosses her face. Of course, if you had been following a routine from the beginning, you wouldn't be in this situation. Hey, I've had a pretty eventful week, you know. For example, I almost died and there was a lot of meeting of people, and then I was on the roof for a while. Which is no excuse for slacking off, you know. A little near-death experience is no excuse for skipping basic exercise. Like running in the mornings. She nods as if something important has just been decided. So it's settled then. You have seen the error of your ways and are willing to adhere to my routine, right? I'll see you bright and early in the morning. We'll be running buddies. You know, you'd already convinced me yesterday that this was a good idea. You don't need to convince me again. Not that I did a good job of being convinced. She's right about eating healthy after all, and here I am ordering up something grossly unhealthy. But delicious. There are more important things than deliciousness, aren't there? Like staying alive. If Emmy weren't here browbeating me for my poor decisions, I'd probably... Hey, wait a second. A sudden question springs to mind. Hey, why the hell have you taken such an interest in my well-being? Emmy shrugs and grins at me. You're the new guy. I figured you don't have any friends yet, right? Besides, I've caused you trouble all week, right? I owe you for not getting angry. And I told the nurse I would anyway. Crazy little running girl wants to make me healthy. Well, I suppose there are worse fates. Okay, that sounds fine. Thanks for your concern. Tomorrow morning then? I figured that ends the conversation, so I turn to leave. Not so fast. I feel a hand on my collar, and in a second, I have been yanked backwards. Hey, no need to be so rough. What do you want now? Emma looks wounded by my annoyed question. Thought you could use the company. Her eyes narrow. Besides, you were just going to try sneaking some more of that fried crap, weren't you? Well, I wasn't going to, but now that she mentions it, it would have... that would have been a really good idea. I wasn't. Another glare. Okay, maybe I was going to get a little. The glare continues. Okay, a lot. Jesus, I'm a danger to myself and others, aren't I? I get done agreeing that I need to be healthier and then immediately start considering the next unhealthy habit that comes my way. I knew it, you can't be trusted. Now I definitely have to stick with you. The whole situation feels silly. Can only imagine what passerby think of the sight of me being lectured by a tiny girl half my size. Maybe I should just give up for now. Fine, do what you like. I sigh. Might as well make the best of this. What do you want to do? Amy thinks for a minute. Well, I promised Rin I'd stop by her mural. So let's do that. I confess I'm slightly curious as to how her mural turned out myself, so again, I consider there are worse fates. I give a nod of assent and find myself almost dragged bodily through the crowd as Emmy races to our destination. By the time we reach the dorms, I could feel my heart pounding. My heart shouldn't be pounding after just that. I take a few deep breaths, willing myself to calm down. I'm one of the most normal-looking people in the school, but I still have to be here. Sometimes I almost wish I'd lost a hand or something. At least then it'd be obvious that I belong. But instead, I don't even look sick. Even now, trying to catch my breath, I just look out of shape. Amy looks back and notices my state of distress. You're not going to die on me, are you? Please don't. It'll be all my fault, and I don't want to deal with that kind of guilt. Besides, after the last time, I really don't think I need to see that again, especially because the nurse will totally say it's all my fault. Nah, I'm fine. Guess I need to start running after all. And you wanted to keep eating your greasy whatever it was. See, it's a good thing I found you, right? Yeah, it was. Maybe. Of course, I don't add that I wouldn't be in this state if she hadn't dragged me across the festival grounds. Further conversation is interrupted by the sudden appearance of Rin. Oh, it's you. Hello, Emmy. Hey, Rin, I brought Isao along because he was going to give himself a heart attack. I was not. My objection goes unnoticed. We stopped by to see how the mural turned out. Rin nods slowly. Well, it's right there. You can see it pretty clearly. I find myself wondering how long Rin's been standing here in front of the mural. Has anyone ever stopped by to look at it? Are we the first ones? Obviously, we're not the first to see it, of course. I mean, it's pretty big. You'd be hard-pressed not to see it. At the same time, I don't think anyone's actually talked to Rin about it. Anyone but us, that is. I feel compelled to say something. It looks pretty good. I'm still not happy with how it turned out, but I guess it'll do. She seems almost resigned to it. I'm not sure what she expected as a result, but I guess she didn't quite get there. Cool. We stand in front of the mural, taking it all in. I try my best to concentrate on the composition of the thing. It's actually fairly interesting. The colors swoop and blend together, dragging me along with them. There's a dreamlike quality to the whole thing that makes me almost feel sleepy. I try hunting out some of the colors Emmy and I grabbed for her. Try as I might, I can't see any Prussian blue. Yeah, what the hell was that about? Oh well. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. My feet start to hurt, but Rin doesn't seem inclined to move on. Emmy speaks up. Hey Rin, have you eaten? Of course, you can't survive otherwise. What about in the past 5 hours? Maybe, but I'm hungry again, so maybe that means I'm wrong. Emmy grins and claps her hands together. Good, come get some food with us. Rin nods in assent. Okay, but we should hurry before they notice I'm gone. Somehow I don't think they'd care. Whoever they are. As we head back to the food stalls, I cast a longing eye over the fried food. Nah, I'd better not. I'm pretty sure Emmy wouldn't let me anyway. We find a nice spot on the grass and sit down to eat our purchases. Well, my purchases anyway. Somehow I wound up paying for all the food. Such is the life of a man. Surprisingly, my unfried food is pretty good. Silence falls as Emmy and I eat, and Rin stares at something or other, occasionally eating a bite or two of her food. I finish my meal first and lay back on the grass. Emmy glances up from her food. Tired, Isao? A little, I guess. Well, don't oversleep or anything tomorrow morning. We start our morning runs, remember? Actually, they'd slipped my mind. I was actually just enjoying myself. Wandering around the festival with these two has actually been fun. Yeah, I'll set an alarm. You'd better be there. I'll get angry if you aren't. God forbid. I don't think God comes into it. Unless there's some kind of freak accident and your alarm clock shorts out. That might be a random act of God. Well, don't cause any random acts of God then. A plan forms itself in my mind. It's a plan that makes me feel kinda guilty, but I throw it into execution anyway. Damn it, I've earned a little fried food. And anyway, I'm going to start running tomorrow, right? So the actual routine all starts then, not now. Ergo, dietary portion starts tomorrow too, ergo I can have something unhealthy today. Sort of final farewell to all the stuff I used to eat with wild abandon before the hospital. Actually, I suppose I should head back to my room. I had some homework to do, and if I'm going to run in the morning, I should make it an early night. Those narrowed eyes again. You sure you're not going to just sneak off and buy some of that fried stuff over there? Nah, I'm too full to bother now. I pat my stomach for emphasis. Besides, you two have cleaned me out anyway. Emmy giggles. It's a surprisingly pleasant sound. Another pang of guilt. She's got to know that I'm lying to her, doesn't she? Or is she just that trusting? I feel kind of like a monster. All part of my master plan, Isao. Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow morning then. Thanks for the food and for keeping us company. And here I thought she was doing me a favor. Rin nods in agreement. I won't say see you tomorrow because that would be like predicting the future, and I'm pretty sure I can't do that. Okay. Bye, you two. I feel oddly glad that I decided to leave my room today. Not a bad way to start my second week here, I suppose. Once I'm sure I'm out of Emmy's line of sight, I make a beeline for the food stands and buy some cake. At least it's not fried, right? That's slightly better than what I was planning to do. I still feel a little bad about lying to Emmy, though. She really does seem concerned about my health. I'll make it up to her somehow. Better head back to my room. Hey, I do have work to do. My book waits for me, and I flop onto my bed and read through the fireworks display. Eventually, all the walking around, or more accurately, running around, catches up with me. I really am out of shape. Emmy dragging me out in the morning to run might just be a good thing after all. It's something to look forward to. Well, if you have a kid girl who's going to be a running buddy, of course you're going to look forward to that. Who wouldn't? Holy shit, we actually... Nice. We actually got this Emmy's route. Awesome. You know, I really love the story of this Katawa Shoujo. I mean, the story of how it began. Just a bunch of talented fellows were like, hey, why not make a visual novel or something? It's so fucking good. My alarm's beeping shatters the early morning quiet, and I find myself wondering where to find the motivation to rise. Where's the guy who wrote this? Where are the writers? You're so fucking good, dude. What the hell? Class is still quite far off, but I agreed to run with Emmy in the mornings. Really, I'm not that interested in running as a hobby, or even as a possible life-lengthening exercise. However, I feel obligated to follow through on my promise to Emmy yesterday, which is why I find myself throwing on some running shorts, and a light t-shirt. The cool morning air caresses my face as the morning sunshine causes the dew on the grass to sparkle, nearly blinding me at first. As I make my way down to the track, an ugly thought strikes me. What if this is some sort of joke that Emmy's playing on me? Would that surprise me, really? Hell, I'd probably do it to the new guy, too. At the very least, I'm sure Emmy and Rin made a bet on whether or not I'd actually show up. I feel a sense of trepidation as the track comes into view. You're late. It would seem that Emmy's already there. What a relief. Not according to my watch, we both are early, in fact. Damn, you got me there. Emmy's sitting on the bleachers, decked out in her running gear, waiting somewhat patiently for me. I'm glad you're actually here. I was afraid that this was a joke or something. Nah, I'd never make someone get up early for nothing. Plus, Rin owes me 500 yen now. She didn't think you'd actually show up. I knew it! Nice to know Emmy was on my side at least. Emmy humps off the bleachers and begins stretching out. She's remarkably, lithe? How do you even pronounce that? Almost like a dancer. I set out to stretch as well, but then realized that I don't exactly remember how to stretch properly. It's been ages since I stretched for anything, if you don't count my one stint at running last week. And even then, I don't think I actually stretched beforehand. The specter of my long hospital stay rises up again. Can't say I was all that active before the hospital stay though, so maybe I'm just being morose. Emmy giggles as she watches me stretch out. No, Hisao, you've got to hold it for longer than that. I'm trying, it kinda hurts a little. That's because you're out of shape. You've got to get some flexibility in you, like this. To demonstrate, Emmy reaches down and puts her leg through her leg. What? To demonstrate, Emmy reaches down and puts her head through her legs. God bless you, Emmy. I see. Is that the sort of thing I should strive for? Of course, flexibility is important for any runner. You'll be able to go faster the more you stretch out. That makes no sense to me, but Emmy seems to believe it's true. With Emmy's help, I managed to stretch myself out properly. I can't help but notice that when she thinks about how to explain things to me, her mouth scrunches up in concentration. It's adorable. Not bad, Isao. Come on, we'd better start running. We'll start off with just a mile, okay? That's 4 laps around the track, got it? Sounds fine to me. This shouldn't be too hard, right? A hazy memory of running a mile for gym class surfaces in my mind. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Emmy sets a pretty good pace and I fall in behind her. Try to keep up, okay, Hisao? Roger. We round the first curve without incident, though I can already feel my heart rate increasing slightly. By the second curve, I've started to breathe through my mouth. Emmy doesn't even seem to be breaking a sweat. As if to punctuate her superiority, she turns around and starts running backwards. Are you doing okay, Hisao? Never better. Oh, really? Maybe I should speed up then, No, wouldn't want you to overexert yourself. My heavy panting and wheezing makes the statement less convincing than I had hoped. Emmy simply smiles and turns around again. You're the boss, Hisao. We'll stay at this pace. I get the feeling that I'm being mocked. If I weren't in such terrible shape, I'd probably feel offended. By the third lap, my breath is coming in ragged gasps. I'm also awash in my own sweat. Gross. We round the curve to start our 4th lap, and Emmy looks back at me with a grin. Here we go. She takes off at blinding speed while I stubbornly stick to my slower pace. By the time I get to the first turn, she's already running the second. As I struggle across the back stretch, Emmy continues running and catches up to me. Come on, Isao, you can do it. I answer her, but I'm too focused on getting air into my lungs and ignoring the burning in my leg muscles. Part of me wants to say something like, maybe you can, but I'm about to die here. But again, I doubt I can actually form words right now. Emmy keeps pace with me as I round the second turn and cross the finish line. Her sprint seems to have gotten her sweating. It's actually caused her shirt to turn slightly translucent. It seems she wears a black sports bra. I feel a vague stab of guilt for being the sort of guy who stares at a girl's chest, but my legs and chest are burning so badly I can't bring myself to care that much. Not bad for a first effort, Hisao. Kind of you to say so. Amy seems to be, if not out of breath, at least breathing a little more heavily than she was before we started running. Must have been the sprint that did it. Hey, I've got to get a few sprints in. You should walk around the track to cool down. Then we can stretch out and we'll be all done, okay? Sounds great. My legs are on fire and my breathing is still heavy, but surprisingly, my heart seems to be taking the strain well. Another triumph of medical science, I suppose. You should put your hands behind your head. It makes it easier to catch your breath. What, really? It makes it easier to catch... Put my hands behind my head. I'm gonna try that next time. Surprisingly, she's right. I begin to stroll around the track, happy to feel my breath coming back to me. There's a blur as Emmy sprints by me. Watching her run is absolutely fascinating. It's not just because she's on prosthetics, though that is interesting. The really interesting thing is the way her face changes. I can only catch glimpses of it as she runs by, but her eyes seem to come alive with a sort of fierce joy. It's as if there's nothing else in the world but her and the track. By the time I've gotten to the final stretch, Emmy seems to have finished her sprinting. She's breathing heavily now, but she's wearing a satisfied grin on her face. She waves to me cheerily as I near her. Feeling better, right? Actually, yeah. Do you want to take another lap around with me? I've got to cool down too, you know. Part of me would rather sit down and not move, but something tells me that would be a bad idea. Besides, if I sit down, there may be no getting back up again. Sure, why not? Emmy's got her hands behind her head now as well, which makes her seem very relaxed. The positioning of her arms also pulls her shirt upwards ever so slightly, so that I can see a small strip of her belly. I do my best to act the gentleman and not look, but the contrast of her skin against her red running shorts is rather arresting. Arrest me! So, how do you feel, Hisao? Surprisingly good, actually. I'm sore and tired, but surprisingly good. As soon as I say it, I realize that it's true. Sure, part of me wants to lay down and die, but I feel like I've accomplished something. It's almost like a glow throughout my body that persists despite the soreness. Yeah, that's the thing. When I started out boxing before the pandemic happened, oh god, the feeling of doing something, being able to punch around and punch faster than before, it felt amazing that I was able to do that. It's like, wait, I can do this? Holy crap, I've never been able to do this sort of thing in my life, and now I actually did something physical that's actually satisfying. My goodness. That was a feeling I'll never forget. Yeah, that's the runner's high. Runner's high? Yeah, it has something to do with adrenaline. Emmy thinks for a moment as we walk, trying to remember. Then she shrugs and grins at me. I don't actually remember. It's a good feeling though, isn't it? Better than sex, right? I open my mouth to respond shortly before processing what she's just said. Emmy watches my face for a few moments before bursting into laughter. Sorry, I couldn't resist. You're just too easy. Why did I agree to run with you again? Emmy just laughs harder. She takes a hold of my forearm and tilts it, allowing her to get a better view of my watch. Her face changes the moment she sees the time. Oh no, we'd better get a move on, Hisao. Class is in an hour, and I need to shower. I should probably do that as well. I need to see the nurse too. Maybe he'll write me a note for being late. Why do you need to see the nurse? Emmy points to her prosthetics as if that would explain everything. It's important to check for irritation. You know, from sweat or friction or anything. Normally I only go after practice, but if we're going to be doing these morning runs, then I guess I'll see him twice a day. Wait, so Emmy has only started doing these runs since I showed up? If it's more convenient for you to run with me at a later time. Don't be silly, I've been meaning to start running in the morning for a while now. But if I didn't have a partner to run with, I'd be less likely to keep up a routine. It's always harder to blow off a commitment if you're going to let someone else down, you know. So you'll be my running partner for the mornings. We both need the exercise, so it all works out, don't you think? Yeah, perfect. Did it have to be me, though? Well, I guess I can't complain too much. Emmy's pretty fun to hang out with. And she's right, I do need the exercise. Doctor's orders, even. Emmy waves a quick goodbye to me. Right, I'm off. Come have lunch with us, okay? What? Lunch, you know, the meal in the middle of the day. Come have it with us. Where? The rooftop. Rin likes it up there. When? Lunchtime, when else? That was a silly question. Yeah, but I sort of felt the need to ask all three for completeness' sake. Emmy laughs and grins. I don't think I've ever seen a girl smile so much before. Not bad, Isao. See ya. With that, she takes off like a shot for the school building. I guess she's going to see the nurse first. I hurry back to my room and hop in the shower, only to find that the water takes a while to heat up. The shock of the cold water nearly kills me. I manage to warm the water a bit and spend some quality time feeling my muscles loosen. My heart, surprisingly, feels the least bothered by the run. Suppose that's a good thing, even if it does make me feel like a little bit of a wuss. I mean, at least I'd have an excuse beyond I'm out of shape if my heart were bothering me. I guess I'll have to keep this running thing up, otherwise I'm sure Emmy won't let me hear the end of it. It's only after I get out and dry myself off that I realize that I've only 10 minutes left to put my clothes on and get to class. Crap. Oh wait, I was expecting Kenji to show up. The hands of the clock finally set me free from the tedium of yet another fun-filled class. Getting up from my seat proves to be more of a problem than I anticipated. My legs are killing me from the morning's run. Maybe doing these with Emmy isn't such a hot idea after all. Still, the run's giving me a hell of an appetite. I'm halfway down the hallway to the cafeteria when I remember that I've got my lunch with me. My parents saw fit to provide me with some prepackaged stuff when I moved in, and a good thing too. The hallway is packed with students headed for the cafeteria. Going back is like swimming upstream, but I've got an appointment to keep on the rooftop. It takes me a moment to find the staircase leading up to the rooftop, but I'm willing to bet that Emmy and Rin aren't up there by now anyway. In fact, I think I saw Emmy among the bodies in the hallway headed for the cafeteria. I step out of the door to the roof and take a deep breath. The fresh air blowing against my face and body almost makes my legs hurt less. Maybe if I'm upside down. Part of me wants to be surprised that Rin's already up here. What's that going to accomplish? Things in the clouds. Couldn't you just look at them right side up? Rin rolls her eyes in something approaching exasperation. Then I wouldn't get a new perspective. Is upside down really a new perspective? Aha, that caught her off guard. Rin looks pensive. You may have a point, maybe sideways. As Rin lays down on the bench to look at the sky, I give up. Fortunately, Emmy chooses that moment to burst through the door carrying 2 bags. She nearly takes the door off the hinges. Sorry it took me so long, there were a ton of people in line. She drops the first bag in front of Rin and takes a seat on the bench next to her. You buy Rin's lunch for her? Sometimes, yeah, I'd have Rin buy my lunch for me in return, but I'm not sure how she'd carry it. Plus, I'd never buy her lunch. If Rin's offended by Emmy's comment, she doesn't show it. Emmy sniffs. How ungrateful of you. I'm not sure whether the two are joking with one another or if I'm witnessing the beginnings of a catfight. The two girls stare at one another for a few tense moments before breaking into smiles. Hey Emmy, do you think being upside down is a new perspective on things? Didn't I already have this conversation? Emmy looks thoughtful, apparently giving the question some thought. After a deep and profound pause, she speaks. I have no idea. Well, at least she's as lost as I am. Hey Sal, you're coming to the track meet, right? The question comes out of the blue and catches me off guard. I don't know yet. Honestly, Sal, after I went through all the trouble of letting you run with me in the morning, you won't even show up at my track meet? Wasn't she the one that asked me to run with her? Actually, she didn't even give me a choice in the matter. Wait, no, I didn't say that. She beams at me as if she'd agreed to give me $1 million. $1 million. So you will come after all. That's great. I didn't say that either. I'll be going too, so I'll make sure he comes, Emmy. Good idea, Rin. Maybe we can get some food or something after the meet's over. I feel like I've just been conned, but not by these two. More like by some outside force pushing me irrevocably toward my destiny. Or maybe I shouldn't read books that feature conspiracy theories so heavily, otherwise I might wind up sounding like Kenji. Still, I suppose that I've got to show up now. I don't think I could stand against both of them being disappointed. I'd never hear the end of it. When is it again? Next week, silly. I just told you a few days ago. No, you didn't. I forgot? Well, you won't forget to come though, will you? Of course I won't. I'll even make a note on the calendar or something. Rin nods sagely. That's probably a good idea, you know, unless time changes its course. It can do that? Rin gives a non-committal shrug. It hasn't yet, but you never know. This time it's Emmy who gives a shrug. I suppose it can't be helped if it happens. Not unless you're a time traveler or something. You don't actually think that could happen, do you? I don't think we do we? Rin shrugs again. That seems to be her default response to everything. I suppose not, but I reserve the right to change my opinion at a moment's notice. For Rin, this statement makes a disturbing amount of sense. The fact that I realize this now frightens me a bit. I wonder if Emmy gets this feeling all the time. If she does, she's not showing it though. Emmy merely nods. As expected. What's that supposed to mean? This time it's Emmy who shrugs. It's like she's using Rin's own weapons against her. Your response is the sort of thing I'd expect from you, that's all. Am I really that predictable? Emmy's smile seems to border on gloating. Nah, it's just that your unpredictability is pretty predictable. Well, that's alright then. I don't get a chance to see whether Rin's being serious or not as the bell rings. I didn't notice the lunch period slipping by at all. Hanging out with these two was far too interesting. Emmy jumps up, a look of panic on her face. Oh no, I need to stop by my room to pick up my notebook for the next class. Don't you wish you had a time machine now? Rin seems rather smug as she delivers this line, like she just won an argument. Emmy ignores Rin's comment. Sorry, sir, but could you make sure our garbage gets thrown away? I usually clean up myself, but I gotta run. Sure, no problem. Emmy darts away with an urgency I'm starting to expect from her. I don't bother asking Rin why she couldn't help. She already seems to be preoccupied with something else entirely as she wanders off. And I have to end it here, fellas, because I have to prepare for work now. Oh god, I missed this. So good, so good. Oh my god. So this is Katawa Shoujo. If you want to try the game for yourself, the links are in the description. That is all for today. Stay safe and take care of yourselves.